previous episodes of Behind the League, we talked about the superhero known as Icon and what is known as the Dakotaverse, the collection of heroes that include popular names like Static Shock. Well, another member from that team is none other than Hardware. Please note, we're going to be covering the lore of Hardware through the Milestone Media origins, along with the Dakotaverse attached to the DC brand. It has gone through various different changes and trends, so stay with me. Hardware has a very special place in my heart when it comes to black heroes of DC. Upon his debut, he was quickly labeled as, quote-unquote, an angry black man, character with no depth or complexity. This was later considered as an unjust bias once the early stories of Hardware concluded. Born Curtis Metcalf, he can be compared with the likes of Cyborg and Mr. Terrific by way of his extreme intelligence and use of gathering parts from all sorts of contraptions to integrate into his everyday arsenal. But how did he, Curtis Metcalf, become the hero known as Hardware? At a young age, Kurt was recognized as a genius, a prodigy of sorts. He grew up in a poor home, but was being provided by his father, whose profession was that of a police officer, that loved him but didn't quite understand him. See, Curtis's father taught him how to fight and tried to get him into sports, but Kurt was only interested in taking things apart and figuring out how they worked and putting things back together. This drew the attention to many, one being that of Edwin Alva. Wait, hold the phone. Alva, like from Static Shock Alva from the cartoon show? Yes. Remember, the animated cartoon Static Shock paid a lot of homage to McDuffin and Cohen's creations, such as the community center being named after Augustus Freeman, aka Icon. But yes, when Kurt was 12, Edwin Alva, creator of Alva Technologies, was impressed by the intellect of Curtis Metcalf, and would later pay for Kurt's 6 degrees, count them, 6, after graduating high school at a ripe old age of 14. He earned his first degree at the riper old age of 15. During this time, Kurt began to bond with Alva, seemingly replacing his father with Alva as his father figure. However, years later, after making Alva millions via the inventions that Curtis made for Alva Technologies, Kurt went to Alva suggesting that he should get a share of the funds from his inventions, to which Alva replied, and I quote, "This was an interesting experience. Rather like having one's dog suddenly announce he's displeased with his living arrangements." Now, if you've learned anything about McDuffin and Cohen's from the Icon video, there's generally a message revolving around the black community when it comes to their black heroes. Well, this is one of them. A story of a black male, confusion on the father figure angle, along with being used by a white individual who does not really respect him as a human being. Only an object. You can view this differently, you can argue various points, but it stands to reason that at the time of the creation there were a few points there were to be made, especially portraying a black character with immense intelligence, who at the time, again, the public only wanted to consider Curtis Hardware Metcalf as simply an angry black man. Back to the story though. Hurt, angry, and confused, Curtis looked for ways to get back at Alva, as well as move forward with his own life, being under contract to not work for any other rival company, and having all of his inventions owned by Alva actually closed many doors. So instead, he looked into Alva's money trail. It was here he discovered one of his biggest partners was dirty, sending money to drug dealers and selling illegal weapons to other countries. He leaked the information to police anonymously and waited for shit to hit the fan. The only problem? Never really hit the fan. It was the inaction of the law that finally pushed him to be the one to do something about it. Taking technology from Alva's company, he built a technologically advanced suit and donned the name Hardware. So what all can this particular superhero Hardware do? Well, without his suit, Curtis has immense levels of intelligence. He is literally considered a genius prodigy, mainly in the fields of engineering and computer science. Aside from that, he's also well versed in martial arts, adding into close quarters combat as well as high levels of acrobatics. Now, when you take into his suit for account, he has his AI computer system, Dobby, the digital onboard integrated electronics. He probably gave his suit a sock and set Dobby free. as well as having his Omni Cannon, a cannon that can shoot various different kinds of artillery ranging from gases to explosives to acids and more. He also carries around a plasma sword and whip. Using metal connected pieces, he has a whip that can on command turn rigid and a sword that is retractable. Each can expel a plasma energy burst, and he can change the sword's length, ladies, between 18 to 30 inches. And do not forget about the rocket-powered propulsion. He has rocket boots and a jetpack that allows him to fly at high speeds. While some of you may compare him to Batman, or even dare I say to Marvel's Tony Stark, it's important to note that Curtis's intelligence is his strongest asset. He's even utilized red solar energy to create lasers for going up against Superman. And his suit that he built personally holds up alongside of even Blue Beetle's alien scarab technology. And yes, if you're curious, this is the same person sitting alongside of Icon from the Behind the Leaks episode 1, standing with Rocket and Static Shock. Perhaps we'll do an episode of the Shadow Cabinet. Let us know your thoughts on that, because recently the Shadow Cabinet arc in the DC comic books is probably one of the best places to see Icon and Hardware having communications after Icon punches Superman through the cosmos. But that is essentially Hardware and who he is. You know, what do you think? Cool character? I for one would like to see Hardware as well as the other Dakotaverse characters make a bigger return into the DC media. If we can get Dr. Manhattan to show up in Rebirth, why not Hardware once more? Also, do not miss the opportunity to catch Wonder Woman in the big screens. Her movie releases in only a few days. Go see it when it releases, support the DCEU. I for one, who has been a big fan of the movies thus far, am looking forward to it, and I hope you are too.